Good morning, everybody. This is Pastor John with another edition of Monday Morning Quarterback. So yesterday we talked essentially about the fact that by God's grace, we are transformed through faith. We are able to see God at work in the world. And because of that, we are able to have hope for the future, hope for God's promised future. The writer of Hebrews said it this way: faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Those are probably the most famous words from that book. That's the one that comes up on tattoos and T-shirts and other things. I've even seen that on a license plate frame once. So those are probably some of the most famous words from the book of Hebrews. But if I'm suggesting that we are transformed by this faith, then the question becomes, how are we transformed? When life tears us down, where do we find faith to see God at work in the world and to have hope in God's future? How does that happen? Well, the answer to that question is both simple and complicated, because it's complicated in the sense that there are many ways that happens, and there is no one formal path to transformation through faith. However, how does it happen? What is the mechanism of transformation? One particular or one possible response to that question is in the 12 steps. They have in the 12-step programs like Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, etc. In those programs, they have a saying. And the saying goes, fake it till you make it. Even when we don't feel like we have faith or hope, just don't quit working your program. Keep at it. Work the steps. Faith, hope, healing. All of these things will come simply by continuing to work the program. John Wesley, the founder of the Methodist movement back in the 18th century, had a friend named Peter Böhler, and Peter Böhler was a Moravian minister. And John and Charles Wesley were very enamored of the Moravians. They were very inspired by the stillness of the Moravian soul, by the calm of their soul. And one time, John Wesley confided to his friend Peter Böhler that he was thinking about giving up preaching because he was having a crisis of faith. And so he was saying, how can I preach faith if I don't have any faith? And Peter Böhler's response was, preach faith until you have it. And then because you have it, you will preach faith. Which is just an 18th century way of saying, fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. How are we transformed? What is the mechanism of our transformation through faith? Well, sometimes we have to act as if we have been transformed by faith before we can actually be transformed by faith. Fake it till you make it. Preach faith until you have it, and then because you have it, you will preach it. Do whatever we need to do to see the world through the eyes of faith. Now, this might seem like, alchemy or sorcery or something like that. If you do these certain things, but what we're actually doing when we act as if we have faith is we are having faith, because we still have a choice. If the circumstances of my life or the circumstances of the world are impacting my life in a way that challenges my faith, I can despair, I can, give up, I can lose hope, or I can react violently. I mean, I can do all kinds of things. I can make all kinds of bad choices. So when we choose to act as if we have faith, if we choose to fake it till we make it, we're still making the faithful choice. Somewhere inside of us, there is enough faith to say, I still think this is the answer. I just don't feel it right now. So I'm going to behave as if it's the answer. And ultimately, it will be revealed as the answer. Preach faith until you have it. And then because you have it, you will preach faith. Fake it till you make it. Do whatever you need to do to see the eyes through the world of faith. Then, because you will have faith, you will have hope. Have a wonderful week, my friends. God bless.